Hi, welcome to Math Kangaroo's third, sixth grade lesson two. So today we'll be learning about fractions and decimals. We'll be learning about fraction operations, decimal operations, and fractions versus decimals. So fraction operations. Fraction is a number divided by another number. It can also be expressed as a mixed number, which is a number plus another fraction. You can add fractions, for example, 4/5 plus 3/4 equals 31 divided by 20. The way you do this is by making the denominators equal. So 4/5 becomes equal to 16 over 20. 3/4 becomes equal to 15 over 20. And then you add the numerator, so it's 31 over 20. By subtraction, it's the same thing, except you subtract the numerators. So 4/6 minus 3/6 equals 1/6. So the answer is 1/6. With multiplication, you multiply the numerator and the denominator. So it's 3/8. In this division, you flip the second number and you multiply. So you get 6 over 5. So with division, you end up with 3/5 times 2 over 1 equals 6 over 5. In simplification, you can simplify a number by dividing both sides by the same thing. In this case, you divide by 3 and you get 11 over 37. Practice. So fraction to a mixed number, you can take out a multiple of 8. So in this case, you take out 2 and you get 2 and 1/8. Mixed number to a fraction, you basically you first make 1/6 equal to 3 over 18. Make 1/9 equal to 2 over 18. And you end up with 5 over 18. In subtraction, you have to do 21 over 15 minus 5 over 15. So that equals 16 over 15. And multiplication, you roughly multiply, you get 10 over 20, which simplifies down to a half. Division, you do 3/4 times, end up with 3/4 times 3 over 1, it's 9/4. With simplification, you first divide by 2, you get 9 over 54. Then you end up with 3 over 18 equals 1/6. So decimal operations. Addition, you first have to line them up. So 0, 0.7 and 2.753. Remember to always have the decimal point in the same row. So decimal point must be in the same row. Then you just add it like a normal addition. So the answer is 3.45. The subtraction, it's the same concept. You line it up and you subtract. So 5 minus 2.74. If there's extra zeros, you can add it. Then just a normal subtraction. So 200, 2.26. Doing multiplication, you just multiply. You just have to remember how many places you have to move the decimal forward. So 0.71 times 0.11 equals 0.0781. And division is the same concept. So 48.4 divided by 0.8 should actually equal 605. Yeah. Addition, the answer to this addition problem is 3.371. Wait, hold up. It's not 3.371. The answer to this addition problem should be 4.371, actually. The answer to 4.6 minus 3.78 it equals 0.82. Multiplication, this equals 0.0882. In division, this should equal 71. So now let's talk about fractions versus decimals. When you try to transfer a fraction to a decimal, you have to divide it and add zeros. For example, let's look at 6 and 3/4. You first have a 6, then we have to divide 3 by 4. The way we do this is by constantly adding more zeros if we can't divide anymore. So let's first add 1 0. Then let's add another 0. This lets us know that the answer is 0.75. Then we put a 6 in. Then we put a 6 in front. So our answer is 6.75. Decimal to a fraction, remember that everything after the decimal is actually divided by a multiple of 10. 2.73, it equals 2 plus 72 divided by 100. Because that's what decimal means. So our answer is 2 and 18 over 25. We forgot after some time. So if we want to take 18 and 2/5 into a decimal form, we end up with 18.4. If you want to take 3.35 into a fraction form, with 3 and 7 over 20. So, first question, which of the 5 squares below has the greatest proportion of black area? Uh, if you get the answer, please tell me in the chat, and usually like 2 to 3 minutes to solve this. So we have 2 people who answered A and no other answers. Answer is actually B. The reason why is by if you look at how what fraction of the squares are black in each of these, we have 2 out of 4 equals 1/2. We have and let's make this black. This is 2 out of 4, which equals 1/2. This is 5 out of 9. This is 8 out of 16, which also equals 1/2. This is 13 over 25. This is 18 over 36, which equals 1/2. So the greatest out of these is 5/9. So therefore the answer is B. Next question. 12 children are in a birthday party. Children are 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 years old. 4 of them were 6 years old. There were more 8-year-olds than any other age group. What is the average age of the children? So basically we have 12 children, and all of them are one of these 5 ages. We know that 4 are 6, and that there's more 8-year-olds than anything else. So they want the average age of the children. I'll give you like around 3 minutes to work on this, and if you have an answer, please put it in the chat. So far we have only one answer. The answer was the answer is E. The actual correct answer is actually B. But the way you did this is that no, there are six 4-year-olds. I mean, 4 6-year-olds. And know that there's more 8-year-olds than any other group. So there's at least five 8-year-olds. And there's 12 children total. But if you notice that there's five 8-year-olds and 4 6-year-olds, one of every other age group, then there's 12 children. So the correct answer is 6 times 4 plus 8 times 5 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9. This equals 90. And then you divide by 12, and you end up with 7.5. Next question. A stack of loads must be transported. And does the job alone, it will take 1 hour. Ben does the job alone, it will take 2 hours. How long will it take if Anne and Ben work together? So I'll give you like 3 minutes to do this problem. If anyone solves it, please type in the chat. So we have two answers, A and D. Correct answer is B though. So basically, look at how much of the job each can do in an hour. Anne can do the entire job in 1 hour. And Ben can do half of the job in an hour. So if you put the two of them together, they can do 3 halves job per hour. Now we just have to divide 1 by 3 halves because we only have one job for them to do. Uh, and we end up with 2/3. So it will take them 2/3 of an hour, which equals 40 minutes. Next question. There's 30 girls and boys in a class. Two students always share a desk. Each desk and each boy shares a desk with a girl. Exactly half of the girls share a desk with a boy. How many boys are in this class? I'll give you 3 minutes to think about this, and if you have the answer, please type it in. So we have our answers. We have a B and a D. Correct answer is D. Basically, we do this by looking at the fact that every boy shares a desk with a girl, but half the girls share a desk with a boy. The number of boys equals half the girls. You can also take this to mean double the amount of girls as boys, which equals G equals. And if we express this in algebra form, we end up with G equals 2B. Since the total number of people in this class is 30, just divide by 3 and we end up with our answer D, because 20 of them are girls and 10 of them are boys. The rectangle is twice as long as it is wide. What fraction of the rectangle is colored in gray? I'll give you around 3 minutes to think about this. And if you have an answer, please type in the chat. So we have two B's, which is correct. Let's do this by looking at each of these parts. So one of these parts is 1/4, while another one of these parts is 1/8. We know this because each one of these triangles is 1/2. Which means that each one of these triangles is 1/4, which is half of a half. And the smaller triangles are 1/8. Now we just add 1/4 and 1/8 equals 2/8 plus 1/8 equals 3/8. So therefore, the answer is B. Number 10. Which square has to replace the question mark so that the white area and the black area are equally big? I'll give you 3 minutes to think about this, and if you have the answer, please put it in the chat. So we have 2 B's, which is the correct answer. The way we do this is by looking at which of these squares has half its area shaded in. Then we can take out the squares. So we can take out this square, this square, this square, this square, this square, and this square, because they all have half of their area shaded in. We're left with one white square. So therefore, we need one black square to make the white and black area equally big. Next question. Max colors in the squares of a grid so that 1/3 of all squares are blue and 1/2 of all squares are yellow. The rest he colors in red. How many squares does he have to color in red? So I'll give you 3 minutes to think about this, and if you have the answer, please type in the chat. We have one answer, C, which is correct. So the way we do this is that we know there are 18 squares. And 1/2 of that is 9. So there are 9 yellow squares. And 1/3 of that is 6. So there are 6 blue squares. So the number of red squares are 18 minus 9 minus 6 equals 3 blue squares, 3 red squares. Next question. Which of the following fractions is smaller than 2? So I'll give you some time to think about this, and if you think you have the answer, please type in chat. So we have 2 answers of E, which is correct. The way we do this is by checking each fraction to see if it is greater than or smaller than 2. Find that all fractions except for E are either greater than or equal to 2. Next question. How far must Maria walk to reach her friend Bianca? Uh, I'll give you some time to think about this, and if you have the answer, please post. Our only answer is E. However, the answer is C. We do this by knowing that 100 meters is 1/8 of the way. So we have to multiply by 8 to get 800. And Mike cuts a pizza into 4 equally big pieces. Then he cuts each piece into 3 equally big pieces. How many equally big pieces did Mike cut the pizza? I'll give you 1 minute to think about this one, and please post the answer for having this. So our answer is E, because we have to multiply 3 and 4 to get E. This is because first we have 3 pieces. First we have 4 pieces. Each of these 4 pieces becomes 3 pieces. So we end up with 4 times 3 equals 12. We learned about fractions and decimals. Uh, we learned about decimal operations, and we learned about fractions versus decimals. So class is over, everyone. Bye.